A massive geopolitical shift took place in Middle East, and almost no one is in mainstream Western media is giving it attention it deserves. Three major regions powers, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and Turkey, have officially signed a historic joint defense agreement in Mecca. Under this agreement, an attack on any one of those three countries will be treated as an attack on all three. People are already calling it birth of an Islamic NATO. Now, why should you care? Because this isn't just about three nations shaking hands. This pact alters the balance in Middle East, challenges America dominance, and presents a huge diplomatic headaches for India. In this video, we are breaking down what this deal actually is, why it was signed right now, and why India needs to pay very close attention. To understand this alliance, let's look at what each these three countries brings to table. It has essentially a tripod of financial, military, and strategic power. Let's talk about Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia brings unmatched financial power and control over the world's second largest oil resource. But as recent events have shown, money alone can't buy security when missiles start flying. Turkey, a long time NATO member with modern battle tested military, advanced defense industries, and a world class drone technology like famous Bayraktar drones. Pakistan offers one of the largest standing armies in the region, strategic depth, and most importantly, the Islamic world's only nuclear arsenal. When you put these three together, you get oil money, advanced military technology, and a nuclear umbrella. Pakistani officials have even hinted that its nuclear deterrence could extend to seal its alliance if necessary. Reports suggest other nations like Qatar, Egypt, and UAE might consider joining down the line, though each has its own domestic and economic constraints. Why did this happen now? The seeds of this pact were sown over the past 2 years due to a series of massive security failures in the region. First, the escalating conflict in Gaza and Israel bold military actions, including strikes in neutral sovereign states like Qatar, sent shockwaves through Gulf capitals. The Arab nations realized that Washington was either unwilling or unable to restrain Israel. Second, the US Iran conflict escalated and strikes hit Gulf oil infrastructure and US military bases. Washington failed to provide a reliable security shield despite spending trillions on military hardware in Middle East. The US couldn't guarantee total protection for its Gulf allies. And third, there there is a political pressure from Washington. US policy has been aggressively pushing Saudi Arabia to join Abraham Accord and normalize relations with Israel even without a clear path to Palestine statehood. By forming this tripartite military pact with Turkey and Pakistan, Saudi Arabia gets crucial strategic leverage. It signals to Washington we have options. We don't have really solely on us guarantees or submit unilateral demands. Now, let's look at Indian perspective because this is where things get complicated. Historically, India enjoys strong diplomatic and economic ties with Gulf states, especially Saudi Arabia and UAE. At the same time, India's foreign policy was anchored in non alignment. However, over the last few years, several shifts have occurred. Pakistan has successfully positioned itself net security provider in Gulf and key mediator in regional talks. Despite its domestic economic struggles, Islam has secured a massive diplomatic win by bringing its nuclear umbrella into this Gulf. Turkey's security architecture. Turkey stance. Turkey under Erdogan has consistently taken strong vocal positioning against India on issues like Kashmir, while supplying military hardware to Pakistan. Turkey's heavy involvement in this alliance strengthens the anti-India bloc within the pact, while the Islamic world forms a collective security architecture. India has moved closer to Israel while maintaining strategic partnership is standard foreign policy, openly leaning into one side during heightened regional tensions risk pushing Muslim majority partners closer to Pakistan's camp. If India gets sidelined in Middle East, it risks losing critical strategic depth in regional vital for energy security and diaspora remittance. So, what is ultimate goal this Islamic NATO? Is it anti-Iran? Not necessarily. While Sunni Shia dynamics exist, Saudi Arabia and Iran have engaged in diplomatic normalization recently, and Pakistan maintains a dedicated balance of its border with Iran. Is it anti-Israel? It acts as a collaborative deterrence against regional overreach, but its primary purpose is defense rather than offensive action. It is anti-US. Is it anti-US? Rather than being explicitly anti-American, it's about hedging risk. Gulf nations no longer want 100% of their security tied to political climate in Washington. In short, it's a pragmatic move born out of vacuum left by shifting superpower priorities. The formation of the Makkah Pact proves one thing: global geopolitics is shifting from unipolar world to regional power blocks. You know, whether, whether this alliance lasts or fractures under internal rivalries remains to be seen, but for now, it reshapes the map of the Middle East. What do you think? Is the Islamic NATO game changer, or will internal differences tear it apart? And how should India navigate this new reality? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more geopolitical analysis.